Hi, welcome back to Sophia's Art Supply Review. In today's video, I would be reviewing the Brustro Metallic Acrylic Tubes of 24 colors. Last week, I had reviewed the Brustro Gouache Metallic Tubes, and if you missed watching that, I will share its link at the end of this video. In the past several years, the Brustro brand has been able to rise above their Indian and international competitors and have made an established name for themselves. I feel there are two major reasons for this. The first is the fact that they have products across almost all major art categories, whether it's paints, brushes, canvases, paper, you name it, and they have something to offer. The second is the fact that their prices are highly competitive. They have very smartly positioned themselves between a more affordable brand like say a Camel and a more expensive brand like a Winsor Newton or a Liquitex. And as a result, whenever an artist wants to upgrade himself, he will definitely consider the Brustro brand. This specific product also brings to mind the fact that Brustro recognized the need for metallic paints in the market and made it available. Most of the Brustro products that I have reviewed so far have been worth their price, so let's check these two to see if it lives up to its expectations. Like all other Brustro paints, this packaging also maintains its distinctive black design. However, it's really hard to visually distinguish whether this is a box of watercolor tubes or gouache or acrylic. The outer packaging is made of thick cardstock paper and there are two slits which allows a peek into the colors held within. However, you can see only 20 colors. And since there is no swatch card on the back, the remaining 4 colors is anybody's guess. When you remove the outer packaging, you see that the tubes are arranged in 2 rows, each row placed in plastic trays which in turn rests in a paper box. There is a protective plastic film covering the box, so let's peel off this layer and take a closer look at the tubes. The design of the tube is identical to all other Brustro products. For instance, this is the Brustro watercolor tube, this is their gouache paint, and this is their metallic gouache tube. And as you can see, the styling is identical with its prominent black design and color strip. Now, if I were a mixed media artist, this would drive me crazy, especially while working with different mediums like acrylic and gouache where you need to work really quickly. I would want the tube to be easily identifiable and not accidentally pick up a wrong tube. Getting back to the product, each tube has a color name and color number mentioned. The stars here indicate the light fastness of the paint, so 3-star indicates a high degree of light fastness and 1-star indicates low light fastness. This basically refers to the archival property or the permanence of the paint. The box here indicates the transparency. A fully filled in box means the color is opaque and a partially filled box indicates the color is semi-transparent. A blank box shows that the paint is completely transparent. Overall, the colors in the box look well thought about and covers fairly a very large spectrum. Let's test them out on paper and check how they perform. Now these are my views after performing the swatch test. If you notice, almost all the colors here are indicated to be semi-transparent. This is actually true. Even during paint application, the texture of the paint feels gel-like, due to which it gives a very translucent effect on paper. This shows up more on white paper, giving the colors a very faded and dull look. Even the metallic effect is extremely muted. On the other side, the looks of the paint on black paper is very different and definitely more impressive. The darkness of the paper helps to bring out the metallic glow of the paint and also gives it a rich ethereal glow. So definitely use these paints on darker surfaces to pull out the best in them. Now for the demo, I have chosen a sheet of black paper. The intent is to make a wreath of flowers. On one side, I have loosely painted in few flowers in acrylic paint. What I want to test here is whether these translucent metallic paints would look better as a highlight or whether they have the ability to hold out on its own. Let's begin. These are my thoughts after testing out these paints. I don't think there is a need to lay out a base layer of acrylic paints before using these metallic paints. You may of course do so if that's the specific look that you're aiming for, but it's definitely not necessary, as these paints can very well hold out on its own. In fact, in certain angles, the metallic sheen is so bright that you can barely make a difference between the two sides. But having said this, these are not the kind of paints that every artist would want. The reason I'm saying it is because some paints are easy to manipulate and it really adapts to an artist's style. Whereas for these specific paint, the artist will have to create a special artwork which adapts to the features of these paints. The reason for this is that the tonal gradient or value of colors are very similar. So you really need to plan your layout so that similar colors are not placed very close to each other. Otherwise they would merge in. Also, while the metallic sheen of these paints is noteworthy, they do not pop out very strongly and are rather muted and pushed back. But wherever there is a challenge, there is an opportunity. So I'm pretty certain there are many artists out there who can use the unique properties of these paints and make creative and innovative paintings. Overall, my opinion is that this is not a product that you need to rush and grab off the shelves. It may not work for a majority of artists, but if you're somebody who does a lot of calligraphy or generally does artwork which requires the use of metallic paints, then do give it a shot. But just remember that the paints are very translucent and have a gel-like quality, which makes it harder to use as compared to some of the other paints in the market. If you're already using this product, I would love to know how your experience has been. Also, do follow me on my Instagram handle Sophia_ArtSupplyReview for sneak peeks into upcoming reviews. If you enjoyed this video, do click the like button and do subscribe to my channel to watch an art supply review every Wednesday.